Okay, just before we crack into our today's video, I just want to talk about our video shorts, which is a new thing we started not long ago. I want to talk about Rachel, who's the person who's putting these together. She's a fantastic volunteer who put her hand up to make what we call video shorts. These are 1 or 2 minute or sometimes 3 minute videos which Rachel makes from our existing videos. She picks out the salient points of existing videos and makes her shorts. She's doing a great job, so please support her and encourage her. She's doing a fabulous job, as I said. So this is what the shorts look like. They have little titles like that. So let's get behind her and encourage her, and you know, view these shorts and give us some encouraging comments, because I reckon they're great. Many people say they want to just get the salient points and the short points and make a video from them, and so she's done it. Good on her. Well, hi you beautiful New Zealanders. In this video I'm going to be talking about, you would never guess how much you are personally paying Maori each year. Just write down a figure on a piece of paper next to where you are about what you think you're paying Maori each year, and then you'll be able to find out at the end whether you're wrong or how close you are to the figure you chose. So what's in the box today? In this video I discuss a report commissioned by the ACT Party in 2004. I discuss details of how much is paid out to Maori as a race each year, and how much tax is collected from Maori as a race. Number 3, I discuss in a lifetime of paying taxes how much each New Zealander is paying to support Maori. And number 4, I discuss the findings, and they are staggering. Watch. So first up, I'll put the newspaper article which details this report in the description of this video, so be sure to download it and study it. Okay, let's crack into the video. First of all, it was Richard Prebble was leading the ACT Party in 2004 when this report was published, and the report starts off by saying ACT has produced significant research that shows there is a $5 billion tax to benefit gap. For every $2 Maori pay in tax, Maori receive $7, a net gain of $5. The first thing we notice in that is that ACT published this report. The year was 2004. The reason I note this year is that the situation has got much worse since 2004, and at the end of this video I'll explain why. The second point to raise here is that the words tax to benefit gap hides the reality of the situation. It should have been worded like this: ACT has produced significant research that shows there is a $5 billion difference between what Maori pay in taxes and what they receive in handouts from the government. For every $2 Maori pay in tax, Maori receive $7, a net loss to New Zealand of $5 per Maori. Then the newspaper report goes on to say last February the government published research that claimed Maori households contributed more in tax than they received in benefits and other government transfers. Labour commissioned the race-based research to justify its race-based approach to social spending and its preference for Maori in spending programs. An Institute of Economic Research study appeared to validate this approach, but ACT's research demonstrates that the government published research is wrong. So government transfers, as I've said, is just another way of saying money going out to Maori. The Labour government at that time was trying to justify its huge spending on Maori by saying that Maori paid more in tax than they received in benefits from the government. The Institute of Economic Research said they agreed with the government. ACT did their own research and found that the Labour government and the IER were wrong. This highlights how reports can be terribly wrong, as in this case. Sometimes reports are rigged because the organisations formulating them rely on government contracts for ongoing finances. In other words, they are pressured to come to conclusion the governments want to hear, and if they don't, their contracts with the government are cut. Thankfully, both the IER and the government in their analysis were wrong. ACT and Richard Prebble found the truth of the matter. And what was that truth? Quote, Maori households do not contribute more in tax than they receive in benefits. The reverse is true. The Institute of Economic Research finding is false because the researchers left out non-cash benefits received by household. Non-cash programs such as health and education are the bulk of government spending, unquote. ACT there goes on to say that they were hesitant to publish the findings for fear of being labelled racists. Helen Clark called ACT fanatics. The Minister of Maori Affairs said ACT was Maori bashing. This was 2004. Look how bullying, intimidation and harassment have increased in 21 years. Truly, today these behaviours appear with monotonous regularity. They have been normalised. Yeah, with the Maori Party and people like Honi Harawira and people like John Tamahiri, this is all just normal now. We go on in the report, quote, it is deliberate strategy to attack anyone who questions the effectiveness of spending on Maoris as being racist. In a multicultural country, to be called a racist is a serious matter. Fear of being so labelled has prevented open and intelligent debate on Maori issues. Despite the government's preemptive attack, actors publishing the research. We are satisfied that our research is professional and accurate. We publish in the hope that intelligent New Zealanders will go past the personal abuse and examine the facts. The research needs to be published not just to keep the government honest or because the taxpayer paid for it. These are significant findings, unquote. Well, I say all credit to ACT for publishing their findings, especially for pushing back against bullying, intimidation and verbal abuse. We must do the same. The next two sentences in the newspaper report are hugely significant. Watch. Some $5 billion a year is a huge sum of money. It's about what the government spends every year on roads, defence, police, courts, prisons, regional development, conservation and the arts. Once again, the newspaper article is not written clearly. The clear meaning is thus: Maori pay $2 billion a year in taxes. The government spends $7 billion a year on Maori. The loss to the government each year is $5 billion. Remember, a billion is 1,000 million, or visually it looks like that. What the newspaper article is saying is that if you added up all the government spending on roads, defence, police, courts, prisons and regional development, if you totaled all that up in 2004, it would be about $5 billion. To put that in perspective, the 2022 cost of building Dunedin's new hospital was projected to be $1.4 billion. I know it's gone up to about $3 billion right now. The cost to build the new motorway between Puhoi and Warkworth was $5 billion. So you could get 5 beautiful roads every year for $5 billion. You could get 2 or 3 hospitals for $5 billion. See? They would benefit all New Zealanders. That's what I'm saying. What am I saying? I'm saying that because Maori were draining the government coffers in 2004 to the tune of $5 billion each year, this $5 billion was not available for services which would have benefited all New Zealanders, like roads and hospitals. I want you to really get this. This is $5 billion each and every year. This is not once in a while. This is every single year. So let's recap. Maori contribute $2 billion a year in taxes. The government spends $7 billion a year on Maori. This means Maori cost the country $5 billion a year. The report goes on to say, quote, "It is more comprehensible to look at the money in individual terms. Maori on average receive each year in benefits from the taxpayer $8,000 more than they pay in taxes. Over a lifetime, the average net benefit for each Maori is $560,000. Man, did you get that? What this is saying is that the on average Maori per person receives $8,000 of taxpayer funding each year. Over a lifetime, the average Maori will have received $560,000 in benefits from the government. That's each and every Maori on average. So how much is each non-Maori New Zealander giving to Maori over their lifetime of paying taxes? How much are we paying, each of us, to prop up Maori? The answer is in the next sentence of the newspaper article. It says this: put another way, the average the government will take from every non-Maori over their lifetime is $120,000 to give to Maori. So every one of us out of our pay packet every week are paying a little bit to Maori. And over a lifetime that adds up to 120 grand. You know what? These are staggering revelations and figures. Many people will be asking the obvious questions, which are, why can't Maori look after themselves? Why do they endlessly need handouts? The playing field is level, so why do they always struggle? Why are they always bottom of the barrel in social statistics? For many decades, Maori have been financially assisted, but they never seem to come right. They're like trying to push start a car that never fires and start. You just keep pushing. So what is wrong? Well, in the description of this video, I have written a paper detailing why Maori continually struggle and why giving them more money, houses, benefits, perks, etc. will never fix the root cause of their dysfunction. So I hope you download that, read it and study it. These transfers do not include Waitangi settlements, the allocation of radio waves, radio bands, the fishing settlement or the foreshore claim. They are all extra. The taxpayer transfer put the Waitangi settlements in context. The fiscal envelope for total Waitangi claims is $2 billion, less than half of the annual transfer to Maori. So what he's saying is that up until that point, 2004, the total Waitangi Tribunal settlements only total $2 billion, but money going out to Maori every year total $5 billion. That's what he's saying. Transfer is just another name for money. What these sentences are saying is that in 2004, the payouts to tribes totaled $2 billion. Many people were complaining about the treaty settlements because they never seemed to be full and final. Kiwis were running out of patience. What most Kiwis did not realise at this time is that the annual loss to Maori were $5 billion, more than twice the entire payouts for Waitangi settlements. Treaty settlements took years to reach $2 billion. Annual losses to Maori total $5 billion every year. See the difference? People just didn't realise. But there are other factors which make this report even more staggering. What factors? Well, it's now 2025. In the last 20 years, benefits for Maori have increased exponentially. They really have. So the expense of keeping Maori or looking after Maori will have climbed significantly compared with 2004. What's another factor? Recently, Maori businesses had their tax rate cut to 17.5%. The following comes directly from the IRD website. Look, there it is. See that? Just take a moment to read that. Maori authorities pay 17.5%, most companies pay 28%. There you go, it's right there. So what does all this mean? Well, it means three things. Compared with 2004, Maori are now paying less tax, so the $2 billion figure is likely to be a lot less in 2025. Secondly, Maori are receiving in 2025 many more benefits and handouts than they were in 2004, that's for sure. Number three, so it'd be safe to conclude that the 2004 $7 billion figure will have ballooned out significantly. All things considered, it would be fair to say that the annual cost of looking after Maori in 2025 will be far in excess of $5 billion. Will be. Probably more like $10 billion, given that their tax rates have gone down and their benefits have gone up. So the gap is getting bigger. That's what the problem is. The report is not all negative about Maoris though. It says, despite government programs, there is growing evidence of increasing Maori success. There are more Maori at university than ever. There are a growing number of Maori-owned operated businesses, see? But remember, this is 2004. Today, many Maori receive scholarships to go to university, when non-Maori do not. So that's one reason why there may be more Maoris at university, because they're getting it free. Many Maori businesses in 2004 were paying 39% tax. So that's probably a reason why there's more Maori businesses around today, because they're only paying 17.5%. We are not done with this report yet. It says, a race-based approach is at the heart of government policies. The size of the Maori tax benefit gap raises important questions. What return is the country receiving from this enormous investment? You see, that's the question. What are we getting for this $5 billion a year going down the toilet? Yeah. It demonstrates the paradox. You do not cure poverty by giving away taxpayers' money. As government spending has gone up, it has not helped. They've chucked so much money at Maori, but nothing's changed. This is the problem. What's this saying? Well, let's say propping up Maori has cost $5 billion a year. It's likely much more than this, but let's just say it's $5 billion. Between 2004 and 2025 is 21 years. 21 times $5 billion is $105 billion. So Maori have received $105 billion at the very least, probably a lot more, in the last 21 years. Has it really helped Maori? This is what Richard Prebble's saying. What return is the country receiving from this enormous investment? $105 billion. Well, watch this video shot in 2024 by a well-known Maori activist.
Does the government want more co-governance?
We want, well, one, co-governance has been around for many years.
But why does the government want more?
Well, it's been around for many years because it's been really beneficial, particularly in the natural resources area. In terms of why we want more because we want to close the gap in terms of Maori and Pākehā in every area, Jack, in every area in society, whether it's education, employment, in the socio-economic area, Maori lag behind. In fact, the only area we don't lag behind in is in skin cancer. So in every area of society, we want to try and close the gap.
So there you have it. Look, did you hear that? In every area of society, despite being given $105 billion in the last 21 years, Maori still lag behind in every area of society. What's going on here? Yet no Maori leader anywhere, ever, has cried out, stop the bus. Something is terribly wrong with our people, with our culture, with Maori. What is it? We can't carry on like this. Unquote. Well, why haven't they cried out like that? The answer is, they've worked out that complaining pays big dividends, massive dividends. It's much easier to complain than find root causes and deal with them. My take on this is that Maori just refuse to face their demons. And the government has trained them not to face their demons. Government has trained them to not look inside, fix their problems. Government's trained them to just hold their hand out and come back for more and more and more and more, and it's never ending. It will never end. There you go. The last sentence of the newspaper report is crucially important. What is that sentence? It says, the evidence indicates that the government spending is not the solution, but a large part of the problem. Whoa, that is an amazing statement. What is this saying? It's saying that successive governments have created a monster that is now insatiable. By continually appeasing Maori, we have literally trained them to come back for more and more and more and more. Not just come back for more, but they want more every time they come back. This monster is going to devour the country. Do you know that? How so? Well, our national debt at the moment in 2025 is 179 billion. We are literally borrowing to appease Maori. We can't afford to keep this up. Our country is being destroyed economically and socially. We just can't keep that up. So here's a headline from Radio New Zealand. New Zealand's standard of living going backwards amid rising debt. Here's an interview. And they interviewed this guy. His name was Martin Fu. He's the director of S&P, which is a global rating agency, and he said this: New Zealand is running a very large current account deficit by international comparison. In layman's terms, New Zealand is living beyond its means, and it's having to borrow a lot from external offshore investors. Unquote. So you see what's happening? We're borrowing to look after Maori. Yeah. But it's a lot worse than this, and I'll show you why. Look, watch this. The Maori economy, says this newspaper article, surpasses a $100 billion goal. Assets grow to $126 billion in 2023. Well, what's this all about? Well, not only this, but Maori can often be found boasting about the size of their wealth. My question is this: why are they not using all this wealth to pay for the problem created by their own people? Why are there so many homeless Maori on our streets? Why are they not paying for housing for their own people? We see the government paying for everything. They don't pay for a thing. Nothing. They pay for absolutely everything is paid for by the government. Why don't they pay for the benefits for all their people? Why don't they pay for their own dance festivals? Basically, what's happening here in New Zealand is we're being shafted. That's what's happening. So here's a summary of everything we've talked about. In 2004, Maori were giving to the country $2 billion in tax. They were taking $7 billion from the tax take. There was therefore a $5 billion shortfall between what they took and what they gave. This annual shortfall has carried on since 2004. In their lifetime, and on average, every Maori receives $560,000 in benefits. Every single one. In their lifetime, every non-Maori, on average, pays Maori $120,000 out of their own taxes. Yep. Over 21 years, the government has paid Maori, at the very least, $105 billion. Our national debt, as at 2025, was $179 billion. So just join the dots. What I'm saying is, all that money paid out to Maori is probably about the size of the debt that we have. It's my belief that Maori are hoarding cash and assets. These are tribes, received through settlements, to position themselves strongly to take over the nation by 2040. They're getting more and more powerful financially because they're getting ready to really push their move to take over the country by 2040. They've openly said that's what they want to do. And do you know what? We are paying them to do it. We pay for everything. We're financing a takeover. And our politicians are doing absolutely nothing to stop it. Can you believe this? In fact, they're feeding the monster that is going to devour us. This is suicide. So what's the solution to all this? Well, Maori have always said they want a dual government. All right, we've heard them say that over and over. Government for Maori, by Maori, that's what they say. And I say, well, you go for it. Go on. Maori will then only have in the kitty what Maori pay in taxes. So they'll start off with $2 billion in their little economy to do what they like with. If there is a shortfall, and there will be, Maori in need will have to go to their wealthy tribes to make up the difference. Tribal leaders won't want the bottom of the barrel calling on them for cash and benefits. Heck no. They're trying to hoard cash and assets. They won't be wanting to give anything away to anybody. So what will they do? They will quickly train their people to go to work all the Maori in the country, pay the same tax rate as everyone else, because the Maori elite will want more taxes coming in, and take responsibility for their lives. That's what's going to happen. Meanwhile, we'll invoice Maori tribes monthly for the cost of using our roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, police, the Defence Force, and every other thing we pay our taxes for. Perfect. Okay guys, that's enough for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Now we need your help with something. This is important. We have produced some great flyers and brochures which we want to get into the hands of all New Zealanders. So we need to go around the mainstream media. They're not going to help. In fact, they're making things a lot worse. So we have to go around them. And we need your help to make this happen. We can't do this without you. So what are we talking about? First, there is our business cards. They're only 3 cents each plus courier to get them to you. Then there is our latest booklet called The Psychology of Takeover, 19 strategies Maori activists are using to take over the country. It's 80 pages and packs a huge punch. So they're cheap, they're $3, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to get a handle on what's actually happening in New Zealand. Then we have a few thousand of our original Stop Co-Governance booklets left over from my tour in 2023. Remember these? You'll remember we printed 550,000 of these. Well, these are now free because we realized that only about a third of New Zealand houses got this booklet last when I did my tour, and so we want to get to the other 2/3. So if you do a few streets around where you live, that would be absolutely phenomenal, and they are free now. Then we have our MACA, that's Marine and Coastal Act brochure 2, which alert people to the loss of our beaches. You know, we're in danger of losing all the beaches around New Zealand. The text is written by Graham Adams, who's a great author. These are now free. And then we have our beautiful bumper sticker, which we've just made. And why are we doing this? Well, New Zealand's identity is under threat. We know that. First activists have and are still trying to change the name of New Zealand to Aotearoa. We don't want that. We must oppose this. This is rubbish. Where's the referendum saying that we want to change the name of the country? There was none. It was just forced on us. Second, Maori sovereignty flags are appearing more and more all over the place, and they're just treason. So we've got to get these bumper stickers out. So we've printed some awesome bumper stickers. They're $3 each, and they measure 21.5 by 6.5, so you can see how big that would be on your car. To get any of these free products, all you need to do is pay for the courier to get them to you. For the products that cost something, like the bumper stickers or the little psychology booklet, it's the cost plus the courier to get them to you. So to order any of these products, just use this email address, cards@stopcogovernance.kiwi, and we'd love to hear from you. Finally, if you want to access all the videos we've ever made, including all our most viewed and most popular videos, and have them all in one place, which is what people are asking for, then just type in this address into your browser. There it is there, https www.youtube.com/@stopcogovernance, and you'll find it goes straight to our channel. Then what you do is save this address to your computer as a favorite. Job done. Well done. Then you've got them all in one place forever. And all the new ones that are coming in get placed into that address, so you won't miss anything. Okay, last thing, please, oh please, don't forget to subscribe. When you subscribe, you'll get the latest videos straight into your inbox. You'll never miss a video, which is great. You'll link up with like-minded people all over New Zealand, and that's very, very stimulating to have meet up with all these people who think like you. You'll be telling YouTube, I like these videos, and they will respond by advertising our videos to more Kiwis for free. It's incredible what they do, but it just relies on you replying to comments and making comments and liking things and sharing things and activity. That's what it is. It's just activity on our channel. And turning New Zealand around is simply a matter of reaching more Kiwis with the truth. So just click on the subscribe button on the bottom right hand side of your screen. The little yellow arrow is showing you where it is, and you'll be subscribed. Okay, see you next time. You guys are awesome.